All right. So listen, this is a message that I had planned on doing at another time with a little more forethought and planning and all that stuff. I'm going to try to hold still here. Apologize, I'm shaky and I have my mic in here, so that's why. Anyway, I want to talk about a habit that you need to absolutely embrace if you are a contractor, heck, if you're a small business owner. All right, right now, I just got off a call in one of our coaching groups where we help contractors, and in one of the chat box threads for a few minutes, there was a stream of contractors talking about how the phones have slowed down and the phone's not ringing as much, which I guess would be the same thing. But lead flow is slowed down. And this is typical in the trades. In the construction industry, it's typical around this time. You know, people are out of school, they're going on vacations, 4th of July's coming. You know, when I owned my painting company back in Chicago, you know, we were looking for a bridge to jump off of come 4th of July every year because we did a crappy job, quite frankly, of doing what I'm about to tell you to do right now. So here's the thing. The one habit that you have to be dialed in with is prospecting. And what that means, just like the prospectors would go out into the rivers and look for gold, that means you need to go out there and you need to sift through some rock and some stone and some water and some mud and get out there and aggressively look for new work, new clients, new relationships, over and over and over. My God, if you go to motorhard.com and you look at my blogs on getting leads, you'll see year after year after year, post after post after post, I'm jumping everyone's tail because they refuse to get off their asses and go find something. Okay? Michael Jordan and now currently LeBron James. These are the guys that put the team on their back time and again when they needed them to, and they found a way to win. And so if you are in a situation in your business where your lead flow is up and it's down and it's up and it's down, and you go through these periods of time where you're about ready to freak out and, you know, hang yourself or whatever, okay, take a look at your prospecting. Are you actively going out there looking for new relationships? Are you hunting? You got to go out and you got to find some food and bring it home to the village, okay? Yes, SEO is great, and content marketing is awesome, and social media, okay? Here's social media, boom, there we are. All those things are highly important. Working your past customer list is highly important. Getting referrals is highly important. But if you don't develop the habit of going out there and crapping a customer every now and then, you're going to be in trouble. Because what that produces over time is this complacency and this mediocrity where you just sit back and you wait for the phone to ring, and then you complain that you don't have any work when you haven't been controlling what you can control all along. You know, not too long ago I had a guy named Jake Harris on my podcast. He's a successful landscaper in Colorado. And I said, do you have a lead flow problem? He says, no. And I said, boy, that's pretty rare. He says, no, we're booked out like crazy. The phone's going nuts. And I said, what would you tell the small business owner? What would you tell the contractor that doesn't have a phone that's ringing now and that things have slowed down and he's starting to stress out? And he immediately said, I'd tell him he wasn't doing the things he needed to do 6 months ago to prevent this from happening now. So do yourself a favor. Every single day, give out 2 business cards. 2 business cards. Driving down the road, and we've all done this. In fact, I'll tell you a quick story here to illustrate. I remember back in Chicago, I drove by, I think it was a Pier 1 imports store, something like that in Geneva, Illinois, on Randall Road, right at Route 38. For those of you in the Chicagoland, Geneva area, know exactly what I'm talking. I think it's a Pier 1, but they had this siding on the side of the building that I would see every week. I drove by it. Every week I drove by it. I'm like, oh man, I should stop in. Oh man, I should stop in. And you know what happened? I didn't stop in. And guess what happened 3 or 4 months later? I drove by it and the damn thing was painted and I lost out. I lost out on an opportunity to make something happen because I didn't listen to the voice in my head or in my gut that said, hey, you should do this. So if you're driving around, if there's a type of industry or a type of client that you want to get in touch with, go do it. Build the habit. Be the type of business owner that doesn't sit back and wait for things to happen, but he's the type of business owner that gets out there and makes it happen. Build the habit of being an aggressive prospector. Aggressive. I once had an account that brought me about $500,000 a year, and every month, at least once a month, I dropped into that office, and there was an older lady working the desk, and she was the gatekeeper. And I'd walk in. I remember the first time I walked in, and I said, hey, I want to talk to you guys about painting. She says, hey, we've had our painter for 20, 25 years, whatever it's been, and we're totally happy with him, and she wouldn't let me in. So I left a card and I left a folder. And every month for about 18 months, 16, 18, 20 months, somewhere in there, at least once a month, every time I drove by this one building or near the place, I stopped in, I walked into the building, and I smiled, and I saw her again, and she smiled at me, and I said, did he die yet? And she said, nope. And I said, all right, well, here's my card and my folder in case he dies this week or this month. And day in, day out, that was a habit that I created. Okay, and lo and behold, I was at home. It was the week of Christmas, and my phone rang, and it was one of that company's superintendents who called me and finally gave me a shot because their guy ticked him off one too many times, and that opened the floodgates for our business. Okay, but I kept after it because I'm a hunter, and you have to be a hunter too if you want to turn things around in your business. So in the comments, if you agree with this, type an amen in the box, and then get off your butt, get out there, hand out 2 business cards a day to people that you don't know. No excuses. No excuses, because this is your business and you get to build it any way you want. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to head over to tomreber.com and get my daily tips to help you build a stronger contracting business. And we'll see you guys next time. Hasta la pasta.